Alright, so in this video I'm going to re-implement our Buy Now functionality and our rating system. So again, kudos to the student for making everything crystal clear, but what I've got here, like the Buy Now section, let's start with just that. So I'm going to create some separation here. It's the item purchase section, and basically we just have buttons, right? Buttons that are visible. So when we look at our other buttons from before, this is the add to cart, this is the buy now. Now we see that his buy is right there. So to make things easier on myself, I'm just going to comment these out. And my job is to replicate what I've already coded with the index, right? So this is the buy now right now. This is that form, okay? Never deleting what the CSS coder has created. So I'll put this above, and I will end up re-indenting the lines and things like that, but he's got a value of buy, all right? And his class it's an input class of buy button here. So what I'm going to do is take his entire code like this, and I'm just going to put it right there, okay? And he can worry about the all the other stuff. Okay, so that's the buy button. Not too hard, right? So we've got the print. Now echo and print is a arbitrary thing. There is a difference between echo and print, other than just the fact it's one letter shorter. Print actually will return a bool. It'll actually, you could put a variable and make it equal to print as a function. It'll register true if it happens. Subtle thing, but so now that I have this, let's go ahead and see how it looks. So there's the buy, which is perfect. And I can even test it real quick. Let's see if it worked. If it doesn't work, we're in trouble. Ooh, inspect. Let's see what we got here. So input class equals button. Let's see if, you know what, let's do, I think if this is, oh, you know what, I didn't close the HTML. That's my fault. Silly boy. I must have just deleted it. Anyway, so the buy is right here. Now, keep in mind, we're going to use this. We can reuse this again and again and again. So now I click that. Please work. We'll hit hard reload. And if this doesn't work, we're going to have to troubleshoot some stuff. You see how it's not triggering? There's something, even though it's an input class. Let's try it with a button, because we've got our form action. Let's do like this button. Oh, you know what? Let's change the type to submit. That's what it is, because it has to communicate that that's the purpose of this input type. So let's try that, and if not, we'll just use a button. Let me make sure. See, it still says input type button. Still says it. So, oh yeah, I got to make sure it gets uploaded. All right, so we're going to do an empty cache hard reload again. Click that. And you see it's an input type submit, right? But it's returning nothing. Now, I notice the styles are not calling out an input as a type. So I'm just going to call this a button. And we'll close that, and then we'll close the button here, and then we'll just put buy. And then that class should still service my needs. So I'm going to hit refresh here. If not, I'm going to have to pause the video and really work with it. All right, I'm going to pause this and troubleshoot and pick it up in a minute. This will make you guys laugh, and I'll keep it as is because it'll show you how normal it is to make idiotic mistakes. So here I was testing the platypus shirt, and I was working inside this code. So the good news is that I can pay with a debit card here, and you should see, when we click on this, we should see the product. So my buy now button is functioning right now, so that's good. Like if I click on this, you'll see Jonas Brothers keychain. Fantastic. Item 9. So beautiful thing there. Just so dumb. It's all right. I like embarrassing myself publicly. So next step is to get the add to cart function. Now we'll be reusing these again. So here is our add to cart. Here's the form method here, and you see index action equals add to cart. And I'll use the exact same thing that we just did. So I'm going to do form method right here. Oops. And notice how it says action equals add to cart. Then we have option 1, add to cart, and the product here needs to be the SKU. So we need to get the SKU from our, there we go. There we go. So that should work. Here's the product SKU. It's what's going to go to add to cart, and then we should be good. Then we have our rating system, which we'll do next. So I really do like testing and very methodical about it. There's the add to cart. So that system obviously is not styled, and it's got to be class equals item cart button. So I'll do this, and we can adapt to what our designer and HTML coder has done. There we go. They're not aligned. I can work with that. Let me see, item buy now button. It could be the width and height. It could be a bunch of things. So that's more of a CSS thing. I'll let you guys handle that one. But let's add this to cart. And now we got the add to cart. Notice it went to index. That's the other page because that's where the function is, right? I'm going to change this to index, so I'm going to leave it as is. Once I get done with my former section. So that's working. I'm happy about that. We can go hit the back button. We got our Jonas Brothers keychain. We're still going to need to implement, the cart items, which, right now I'm just focusing on the design. I do not plan to have this kind of shopping cart at the top. I don't think it's good usability. This would probably go in the checkout. So when I click on the link, it'll go to the checkout, the final checkout. And that's how we can work with that one. So back to our own design here, it's time for the rating system. And he's got these sections. So now that I'm happy with what I've seen, this is the index. This is the section for, and the only HTML we have here is some image source tags and a span ID. Okay, and we know it's functional because we wrote it. So where is our rating system? It's right here. So I'm going to create some separation again, and we're going to go right here and focus right inside there. So I'm going to open up PHP here, and I'm going to work like that, and this is the rating system right here. So this div class is the rating section. This should be right here, and this should be closed at the bottom. Right, and then I have, notice how we have onClick equals that. So I have for each star, I need to comment out this and echo the star section. Now this is going to be CSS. So in each one of these, I'm going to have an onClick like this inside that class. So I can add it right to my section right here. So we have inside our PHP, actually we can echo out single quoted string, something like this. Okay, and we'll do a single quote right here and a single quote right here. Okay, otherwise let's just echo out the class fos star, which is normal like this, and it's a different if else. So basically I'm going to run this based on the CSS. So I'm going to pause this real quick and take a look at the CSS. So the beauty of what the student has done on this rating system is he's given me the font awesome call for the dark stars as well, which is a wonderful thing. So if I control click, I can inspect, and I can go with, let's see, we've got before, so we've got the same stars, and that's before, and this is the platypus t-shirt, so this is going to be inspect right here, and that's before as well. So that's the item rating section, and let me make sure that we know why it's solid. So I'm going to hold off real quick. Okay, so the rating system, the difference between the dark star and the light star, and I had to search for this a little bit, was the font weight. It's a font weight 900 for the heavy, the dark, and without it, it's a 400. So if I were to do this, like, and do 200, you see it's 200. So that's the font weight. What I did was I hijacked the score, and I made it a 3. Because right now, the rating system, it's going to be full. So if I hit this up and I upload, the rating system will be just like this, okay? So, I've got the sale here. Everything's working fine. The add to cart's going to work fine. The stars need to be inside the actual section here, and you'll notice it's right to the right. So there's a div that's closed too early right now. And that, let me make sure it's, put another div below it maybe, because that's, I'm going to hit this up. So it's definitely an HTML issue, but that gets our rating system complete. And you see what that div just did. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that and make sure that I have this div rating. Oh, here we go. I think this has got to go down below the span because I dived out the form. We don't want too many divs. They're structural tags, and a lot of this could come back in our, see that? It's not enough space. So our divs look good, but they need to have more space, and I'll fix that in just a second. Okay, so the implementation of the rating system, I've cut it down quite a bit. There was a pause in the action there. And what I've done is I've expanded the height of each box. The coder in question had it at 218. I've made it 239, but I did that to adapt. But one of the holdups when we were troubleshooting was the HTML, and I want to show you how I solve it. I keep this new validator up all the time, and it pointed me to a stray end div tag, which is in line 70. It was correct. So the way I fixed it was I viewed the source code and I kind of pushed the clean version of the code, this right here, until I saw what was wrong with my PHP. Now, the further implementation of this to get the rating system up meant that, if you recall, this is an on-click event. So the onClick calls the Ajax function. So what I needed to do was get my Ajax code from the appropriate area on the index. And so I placed that at the top right here. And that's all functional, but I needed jQuery again. And he had a slim version of jQuery. I actually just recalled the 3.5 from the CDN, so it had the integrity. So that it's only section, because it was telling me that the .get method and jQuery was not functional. That was another thing we had to troubleshoot. So when I look at this, and right now I've just rated this with the IP, I can go back to my rating systems here. I'm going to go to Mesa, and if you recall, like if I hit this again and I hit something like that, it says you've already rated this item. If you want to make that, you can make it even higher, 250. I think I'll do that. So I'm going to go to the style CSS and make that 250. But that's not really relevant. I just want to make it look good. So when we do, this is line 239, I'm going to punch this up to 250. So remember the, where is my dot item? There it is. There it is right here. So this will be 250. But when we do this, we have to take the recipient script from Ajax and make that functional as well. So now we've got the buy, the add to cart, everything's functional. I've already rated this one, and this one, and you see it's fine. So that setup, we're going to stop this video at this point, and the next thing we'll do is do popular items, and even the carousel, we'll get that done.